Look what we have here. Another silk. This was a skirt. Side seams here. Now we're going to split it so that we can make a cup. We'll get 2 scarves out of this. And we will match it up. Let's see. We'll get the right side. This will go here to match up. But don't worry. This seam that I'll have to create is going to be broken up by another piece where the lines will go a different way. So you'll have, if you can tell, we'll have some stripes going across to break it up so that we don't worry terribly that this is going to be so perfect. We can try to make it perfect, but I'm not going to be terribly worried about it. Let me make sure that I got that in the right direction, and I do. So yeah, I'm going to make a cut here, and this will be a scarf, and then the other one, if I'm not mistaken, it will match up with the stripes here. If I get the right side put together. Yes. Okay, that's going to match up. So, let us cut. So, let's just get one out of the way, and we will next cut what we want for the in-between. And I could have the option, it depends on how long I want this, but I think what I do here will make it long enough. So, I'm just going to get this cut. Just showing you my bits as I... Now, is that wide enough? Oh, yeah, it is. Now, see, this was the back of the dress. So where can we cut it? We can have this green. Okay. Let us have the green. And you know what? I just kind of go. I'm just like, just go. We can have the green. I like the green. That way, you know, certain colors become more dominant in the design. If you just choose, oh yeah, I like the green cutting across there. And even though this one will be wider than that one, do I care? No, they didn't seem to care enough to, I mean, they may have matched it up a little bit. Not that great. Sometimes you just don't want to overthink it. You just cut. Just cut and go. Now look. Yeah, so let's get this lined up. Some people would be using the blade, the roller blade, but you know what? That thing kind of gets on my last nerve. So here's what I do. I like to do it the easy way. Here's our width we want. Yep, that's matching up. So let's go right across here. Now, we're ending up with some scraps, and that's fine. But yeah, look at that. This will have, well, I'll just show you when it's all done. So here's that boring part. Sewing a French seam. All right. I don't know how much more boring it could get, but let's do it. This is where I'm working on that silk scarf. Some going that way, some going this way. In the middle, it'll break it up. And I'm going to increase my stitch a little. So. I tend to floor it. I hope that... See, as I mentioned before, that doesn't always come out perfectly. Not a worry in my book. I'll just trim it to fit later. Okay, now, remember when you're making a French seam, this is actually the wrong side of the fabric. Please say that's true. It is. And then we'll shove this back through and do it that way in case you don't know how to do a French seam. But I'm going to want to press it before I do that. Trimming. Yeah, I trim pretty close, like... Mine might even be less than 1/8 of an inch. because even though you trim that small, you're still not going to get a 1/8 French seam, and that's okay by me. If you want a 1/8 French seam finished, you really have to cut it close, and then you risk that old problem of the seams coming out. And they will do that. I've seen it. French seams on garments aren't always my favorite because, believe it or not, they tend to come out often. Especially on anything like extremely delicate fabrics. You think that's going to look good, but unfortunately, there's problems that happen. Okay, now we can grab it up. Okay, now our next step would be to hem the whole thing, and look, this is like, it's going a little wonky right there. It makes me a little bummed, but I'm going to work with it because, see, we have some green on there anyway. We will just trim it down, and it's called Make It Work. The other side, oh yeah, see, it kind of goes out anyway, so I think when we trim up, we'll be fine, and we will do a hem. We got lucky in that the very end of the scarf already had a beautiful hem, and we can just use that. And so all we have to do is sew our long sides. And how I do the double turn, here is the trick. I don't try pressing. I use the machine to do it. So I go around one time. And I sew close to the fold. This is how I do my double turn on almost everything. And it does much of the hard work for you, like the pressing. People spend time with a hot iron. Nah, I let the machine do it. Now when I get to this, I'm sure most of you know this trick, but I just snip away a little of that bulk. Be gone. And it just helps things. It really does. And while many will watch and say, oh, that's not the standard way. Well, let me tell you. I want to help you do things that you can actually do and not be all freaking out. These little tricks I've done, they work. We can get it done and we can move on with our lives. Because after all, am I or am I not working with secondhand goods right here? I am. So you have to make a decision. If I were creating a beautiful custom bridal gown or something of that nature where you're working from the start, yeah, you want to do that in the standard couture way. Right here, we're just making a scarf. And it doesn't have to be overthought. That is the beginning seam, and then I will go back, turn it once more, and look. Continuing on. the double turn. At least it's not a double cross. I know, it's a joke. I do slow down a bit sometimes. Sometimes I remember. You probably could hear the machine going across that thicker part. And there we are, about to hit the end of the road. Sometimes I don't go backwards because when I'm stuck on something thick, it doesn't want to work properly, but you can turn around and go back the other way. But sometimes I just kind of, you might say I'm sort of forcing it to stay in one place where it makes many stitches in the same place. I maybe shouldn't recommend that, but I do it. So there we have our finished scarf seam, and we just have to do the other edge.